Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Talk podcast. I feel like there's a lot to go over in the beginning of this, but first things first, happy freaking New Year. It is crazy that it's now 2024. I hope you guys had great holiday, great New Year, all that fun stuff. I did not post last week. I actually was gonna obviously have an episode last week. I got sick. You can probably kind of still hear it in my voice, but I am a lot better than I was. I'm still kind of congested and everything, so that's probably what you can hear. But we're back. We're back to record. We're back to get this rolling in the new year. I am so freaking excited. It kind of actually worked out because the episode I was going to post last week can kind of coincide with the episode I was going to post this week. So we are just going to combine the two. Obviously, we'll get into that in a minute. But first, I just want to say Happy New Year. Like I said, I hope you guys had a great holiday season. It definitely has been a busy couple of weeks with holidays and all this stuff, getting sick, all that stuff. But we're here. We're back. Intentions, speaking of that, I've been sick, so I'm trying to catch up with everything. I've definitely been trying to plan a lot of podcast stuff. I kind of planned out this month. The other day I was in Notion. I freaking love using Notion. If you haven't used it, I definitely highly recommend it. I love it so much. I don't know, that's been my new platform. If you know me, you know I've been a notebook person. I had to bring my notebook to every podcast because that's what I used for all my stuff. I haven't used a notebook in so long because I typically now just bring my phone with me because I use the Notion app on my phone, or you can go to notion.com on a desktop thing. So I plan it a lot on my laptop. I bring my phone to the podcast now, and that's just what I use. I haven't been in a notebook in so long, and I kind of miss it. I do love physically writing a lot of things out, but it's also just easier to sit here with my phone because typically I have that with me as well. But trying to catch up on everything, get back on track with uploads, get back on track with episodes, all that fun stuff. Streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, anywhere you stream your podcast, or we are here on YouTube. If you like to watch podcasts, it's Girls Gotta Talk podcast on here as well. So with that being said, it is now 2024. Honestly, to me, that is crazy. I've just been thinking of a lot of things that are going to be happening within this year and things I want to do this year, which is going to be talked about in this episode. But the episode I wanted to post last week was just kind of going to be a self-reflection of how 2023 went. 2023 honestly was personally a very crazy year, a very hectic year. Low-key, so much has happened. It was just honestly a crazy time. So first we are going to do a self-reflection, kind of reflect, like I said, on 2023. And then I do want to talk about 2024 and kind of parts, what I want it to look like, goals I have, just things that are going to happen in 2024. I also did make a vision board for myself personally. If you do follow the Girls Gotta Talk podcast Instagram, I posted it on the Instagram and kind of asked you guys if you do vision boards as well, or if you ever thought to do one. I'm actually going to look at that right now and see what the results are right now. So right now, it is tied between nope and never thought about doing one. I did ask if you make vision boards. I'm actually surprised. I would honestly recommend just making one for yourself, whether it's this year, whether you just do it next year. I don't know. I feel like vision boards are just a lot of fun. Personally, I like making them because they're a lot of fun to make. But just kind of looking at them through the year gets me like really excited. And then obviously when you're reflecting at it at the end of the year and you see things have accomplished from it or what you didn't get to, is kind of a lead into the following year. Or there potentially could be things you didn't think you'd either want to accomplish or like get into, or I don't know, do, so to speak. And then at the end of the year, you're like, wow, like that wasn't even on my vision board or like on my things to do this week or not this week, this year. But like, look at what I've done. Like, I would honestly say that this podcast would probably never be on a vision board I'd make. But the fact that I made one, here we are. This is like this year in September is going to mark a year. I don't know. I'm just really excited to see like where this goes now. I never would have looked back and been like, oh yeah, I accomplished making a podcast from my vision board. I don't think would have put that on, but here we are. So that is definitely one of the things that like would strike me as like, oh my God, this actually happened this year. I am going to talk about the vision board I have later, but like I said, we are going to start with a self-reflection of 2023. So first thing that I had from 2023 is my son turning 1. JJ had turned 1 years old. I think that's crazy. Like in 2 months now, I'm going to have a 2-year-old. That is crazy to think about. I don't know, like time literally just flies. I don't understand. I feel like he just turned 1 and now he's going to be turning 2. That was a whole thing within itself. He turned 1 in March. Around the time that he turned 1, my cousin was getting married 4 days before his first birthday. So we had gone down to Florida for the wedding, which was really fun, really exciting. And while we were down there, we kind of just, since most of my family was going to be down there already, it ended up just being like my parents, but I didn't want to go to Florida, do the wedding, come back, throw a whole birthday party. Like, it just seemed like too much in a short amount of time. Like I said, she got married 4 days before, so we just kind of made like a little week trip out of it. So we ended up going to Disney to celebrate his birthday while we were all down there. We just kind of made that a thing. We invited Julian's family down, like I said, because mine was already going to be down there because it was a wedding for my side of the family. So Julian's grandmother came, his mom came, his aunt came. It was not a big crowd, but it was a really fun time. So we went to Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot. We went like all around Disney. I don't know. It was a fun time. It definitely was probably easier than like coming back, and obviously it would have been like a late birthday, I would assume, with going down and traveling back home and all this stuff. It would have been a late birthday party, but like trying to plan a whole trip down and then coming back and planning a whole first birthday and all this stuff just also kind of sounded really stressful, and I feel like it would have just been too much and a lot of money and all this stuff. Not saying that like Disney wasn't a lot of money, because we all know Disney's pretty freaking expensive, but with the trip down, like plane and hotel and anything else that we were doing down there while we were down there, so to speak, and then coming home and obviously probably planning, because like our apartment isn't big enough to hold like a birthday party like that, so we probably would have had to go somewhere, probably rent out a place, decoration wise, like I don't know, like everything involved in a birthday party on top of a trip to Florida just would have been a bit much. So that was just the easy way for us to do it. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. He looked like he enjoyed it. He had a good time. So that was what happened. I think like the first, because like I said, his birthday's in March. That was probably one of the big things that happened last year. So that's kind of what kicked off the year. If you haven't listened, we do have an episode out. There was a breakup in 2023, but we're going through it, planning everything out of what we have to do going forward, so to speak. There is a breakup episode out if you do want to listen to that. That happened towards the end of 2023, but yeah, towards the end of 2023, I also got a new job, which definitely was, I think personally, one of the things I really, really, really needed for myself and where I was at and everything. It definitely has been kind of a benefit for me. It's worked out really well. I really like the job. Everything so far is going really good. I'm closer to home, closer to JJ and the daycare and all this stuff. Everything that was turning into an issue for me before with my travel to work is definitely a whole like 180 flip. Everything is so much better. Definitely something I needed. I wish I would have looked sooner and gotten something sooner, but I feel like this job just kind of happened almost perfectly, timing wise. So I'm just kind of really thankful it worked out the way it did. I'm really thankful that I'm enjoying it. I'm thankful for the location. Like everything about it has just been really, really nice so far. So I'm really, really excited that everything with that happened the way it did. 2023, like I said, crazy time. I went through a lot of car issues. Oh my God, I think I've put, I don't even know how much money into my car this year. There's been a lot of issues with my car. That definitely has been a very up and down path for me towards the end of 2023. Luckily, I feel like we're all on track right now. Everything's good. I just had my car in the shop recently, last month with, I don't know what was going on. I don't even know how to explain it right now, but it wasn't functioning right. I brought it to a shop. They fixed one big major part of it. I spent $800 on that one-time thing. Literally still couldn't even drive it off their lot. I had to call them the next day saying my car still wasn't running right. It still wasn't good. I just spent $800 and they were like, well, we can like get you in and fix it, but it's probably not going to be till next week. It was around Thanksgiving. So like, I know they're busy. Obviously they're closed some of those days. And I was getting so frustrated, so upset because I was like, I just spent so much money on this and it didn't even fix the problem. And I brought it back. Luckily, they got it done within the next day. But then after the 800, I dropped another 175 that fixed it. So it was just a crazy time. I was getting so frustrated that like everything with my car was going wrong. And I was dropping so much money. But luckily, I feel like it's all fixed. We're all caught up on everything. It's been running really well since I did get it fixed, so hopefully we're on the right track. But my car, like myself, has had a very crazy 2023 experience, and we'll just leave that at that. 2023 was also very, 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 very crazy, honestly, mental health wise. I've mentioned this a lot in the last couple episodes, definitely in the breakup one. I went down a really, really, really crazy mental health spiral, and we're doing a lot better now. Like I said, I feel like my new job and everything has definitely helped with that situation. It's been a lot better. We've been definitely going up, thankfully, but honestly, I feel like within the beginning of the, like even in the beginning of the year, through the whole year, especially, I would say towards the end of the year, it was really bad. Luckily, we ended the year a lot better going forward and everything, but my mental health for me was a big problem in 2023. So that is definitely what took me down a lot of bad times, honestly, emotional roller coasters. I feel like almost every week for a long time, but we worked on it. I would say, well, obviously I'll probably talk about it when we get into looking into 2024, but mental health is definitely going to be almost top priority in 2024 because I definitely want to keep going the way I'm going because, like I said, we're doing really well. I definitely do not want to get back to where I was because I would tell you it was not a fun ride, but I'm glad that, I don't know, I went through what I did and like got myself through it almost, obviously with help from people, but it was still like, it's kind of like an eye-opening experience. Like it's one of those things where it's like, you don't understand some things unless you like go through it yourself type of thing. So now that I've been through that, I see a lot of things in different perspectives, but in a good way. So not saying that it was a fun thing to go through, but I will say that going through it, I don't know, has helped me in other situations. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I said, 2024 is definitely going to be mental health lookup. I don't know how to explain it. It's going to be a big thing where I got better with the mental health and we're going to try to keep it this way. We're going to try to keep doing things that'll make me feel better, honestly, all physically, mentally, emotionally. So hopefully that'll be a fun ride this year. I did start going on a lot of walks. I feel stupid saying last year when it's literally the second, but I started going on a lot of walks during 2023, and I feel like that also has helped me in a lot of ways as well. I don't know, just getting like the fresh air and everything, I think is something, I don't know, you always hear, I feel that people are like, oh, fresh air is good for you and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I feel like it helped a lot. Like I didn't expect to love going on walks so much, especially by myself. If you know me, like I'm such an introvert. I don't like to do a lot of things by myself, but going on walks by myself was one of the best things I probably could have done. Definitely really had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I'm just glad I started doing it. I'm glad, even though it was cold, I was still out there walking. I live by some water that you could walk by that was really nice. I feel like having, honestly, some type of good views and environment type of thing kind of helps because, I don't know, it just makes it a lot better. Put my AirPods in, either listen to a podcast or just some music. It just makes the time go by. You don't realize how long, at least for me, like I didn't realize like how long I was walking for until like I came back in and I was like, oh my God, like I was out there for that long. Like didn't feel like it, but it was really nice. I also got into a good reading era. I feel like I read a lot of books this year. I don't know if you've heard of it. If you haven't, I would definitely suggest getting it. It's a Goodreads app. It kind of tracks your reading through the year. You could set little goals for yourself. I had set a goal to read 10 books this year, which honestly I knew was a lot for me. Between work and other stuff I was trying to do and being a mom, like I know I don't have like that much free time for stuff like that. Like honestly, when I could, I would try to pick up a book, but I was surprised I made it through 6 out of the 10 books that I wanted to read this year. I feel like that was actually kind of a really good accomplishment for me because I did not expect to read that much. I'm surprised I got past like 3 books. It also like you mark when you start reading it and you can mark when you finish it, so like it tracks like how long it kind of took you to read the book, which to me that doesn't bother me, but I did take a long time to read It Starts With Us. I got it for Christmas in 2022. And I don't remember like when I started, but by the time I like started it and actually picked it up and read it and all this stuff, it took me like 3 months to finish it. Because I don't have like the free time I would like to just sit and like read and all this stuff, but it doesn't bother me. Like I also go through phases where I'm like really into reading, but then I'm like, yeah, no, like I don't really care to read type of thing. But I feel like I started doing that when I was in that book, because at first I started it and I really wanted to read it because I had read It Ends With Us and I loved it. I started turning into a big Colleen Hoover fan. So when I started reading it, I was really into it, and then I just kind of died off, haven't touched it for a while, and then when I finally picked it back up to start reading again, like I started to love it and didn't want to put it down, but tried to make so much time to finish it, and then I was really excited when I did finish it. But like I said, it did take me quite some time to get through that one, and then I feel like after that, it didn't take me so long to like start reading other books, but I just had to get back into that groove of wanting to read and getting into the books I was in and had and that I wanted to read. You can do a lot of want to read categories, so you can put a lot of books that are in the app into your want to read. So I had so many in there, but I feel like that also not stresses me out, but it gets me very like, I want to do this, I really want to read this one, but I have to get through this one, and it just kind of, I don't know, I get like stressed, and then I'm like, oh, I don't pick up this book, but I really want to read this one, and it's just, I don't know, kind of a crazy time. 2023 was honestly the year of this podcast. We did have a podcast before. If you are not from the previous one, Julian and I had a podcast together. It was the Alyssa and Julian podcast. If you scroll down far enough on, honestly, whatever you stream your platforms, stream your podcast, or back on the YouTube channel, I left everything up. I didn't go through and delete everything we had. Honestly, I just didn't have the energy to, but I also was like, why am I going to delete it? I'm just going to leave it up. This is what it was. We could see where it was and what it turned into. I did rebrand it to Girls Gotta Talk podcast. I knew I didn't want to lose it. I did not want to just drop the podcast, honestly. I loved doing it so much that I started doing solo episodes on the last one because there was some times where like Julian and I couldn't sit down together. We couldn't have a time because of my work schedule and the way his work schedule was. We did not like coincide at all sometimes. So I ended up just doing solo podcast episodes because I still wanted to upload, and that was kind of the only way to do it. I was really, really nervous at first to be doing solo episodes, but as I started to do more and more, I got really into it. Really excited. I loved it. When we did decide to go like separate ways with just content, because before we broke up and announced the breakup, we kind of divvied up our work based on our work schedules, like what would be better for us that still gave you guys content. He took over the reaction channel. I took over the podcast. That's how it's been. And then honestly, with the breakup, I don't know, like it's just kind of worked out, I guess. It wasn't leading to it. Like we announced it just because of work schedules and all this stuff. And then the breakup did end up happening. I don't even know how long after we announced that we were like just doing separate stuff to put out content. But that's just how we've still been going forward. He still does reactions. He renamed and rebranded that channel. I have now the podcast. Like I said, rebranded this channel. So I don't know. Everything is still up if you, do want to go back and look. But like I said, honestly, I just didn't have the energy to take it all down and like unlist it and all this stuff. Same with the Instagram. I obviously just renamed that as well. But everything farther down posted is from the old podcast, but I'm really happy that I stuck with this. I'm really happy about everything I went through with trying to change it, and new name, new face, everything. I also got little pieces of equipment that are now my own. Honestly, thanks to the help of Julian, I have my own laptop now that I record this to. Before, I was using all of Julian's equipment. I would say getting my own has definitely helped and made it a lot easier. The only thing I do use now that I know I will obviously need in the future is Julian's camera to record. I use like a light fixture of his, but the main thing I kind of definitely need to figure out is camera wise. That way I don't have to take his camera down and use it all the time. I have the laptop that I record on, edit on, so I don't have to use his computer to do all that, which kind of make things a lot of time efficient. I have a new audio interface that he had gotten, and I don't know, like a lot of things for the computer within itself, like storage and all this stuff that he had shown and gotten and told me what I needed and that I ordered because I was really excited. So we are on a really good track with this whole thing between rename, rebrand, new face, new equipment, all this stuff. I am really excited, and I'm really excited to see what this year holds for this podcast because I feel like, I don't know, a lot is going on with it, and I'm so super excited. Sneak peek, but I did also have the first guest on the podcast. Honestly, that episode is coming next week, so look out for that. But we did have our first guest. It was super fun, super exciting. I can't wait for that episode to come out. I know she's probably super nervous, but I think recording went really well. It was really fun. So look out for that. Definitely. That is definitely another milestone within this podcast is guests. I do probably would like to have a lot of guests in the future. Obviously, whoever the guest is kind of depends on episode wise and all this stuff, but I am really excited to, I don't know, potentially get more people on and grow this podcast a lot. End of December, JJ had his second Christmas. With this year, he was old enough to like open presents and know to like rip it. If he like saw toys underneath the wrapping paper, he would get really excited and all this stuff. He wanted to like obviously play with everything the moment he opened it, which I'm not surprised, but it was just super cute. Last year he was only 9 months old at Christmas time, so he didn't really get the grasp of like opening everything. Obviously if he saw toys, he liked it, but it was also, I feel, just kind of really overwhelming for him, where this year, it was still overwhelming when he was, like, given a lot of presents, like, one after the other type of thing. He was kind of at a point where he was like, all right, like, that's enough. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's a little much. But he was really excited at first to open gifts, play with toys. He has a lot of new stuff he loves using. He's been in a really good, like, coloring era. So, like, a bunch of coloring books and crayons he's gotten really excited over. It's just really cute to see like the little things he gets into and all this stuff. And then honestly, to kind of end the 2023 reflection on a positive note, like good note, I feel like I've gotten closer with a lot of friends. I don't know, just talked to a lot more people that like I talked to during the year, but like I said, I've gotten closer to a lot of people. But I don't know, it just feels really good, really nice going into 2024 with, I don't want to say new people, because like I said, I've known them, but kind of going into the new year with new people because, I don't know if that makes sense. Just getting closer to people and talking to new people has honestly just started this year off a really, really nice. Yeah. But a look into 2024, I did set some goals For myself, the first one I had was, like I said, with growing this podcast. I want to improve the podcast a ton. I did get some things for Christmas that could potentially set up a new location for this podcast. If you've honestly listened to any other episode, you've talked about how I hate filming. I wouldn't say hate. I really dislike filming where I'm filming right now because all I have behind me is just this blank wall. So I did get some stuff that could potentially set up a new location. So I'm really excited to get that going. I still haven't figured out where exactly it's going to be, but I have planned out some spots, so I just have to see kind of what works best. I want to obviously be planning a lot for this podcast. I do want to put more shorts out on YouTube, some more reels on Instagram, like get all that stuff going. But I have a lot I feel like I want to do with this podcast. It's just probably obviously going to take some time, but I'm really excited to see how this goes and how we do with this. Like I said, mental health is going to be a big factor in 2024. Trying to get even better than where we're at now. Like I said, we did come a long way and we are doing a lot better, but I feel like there's still room to improve. I do also want to improve my personal YouTube channel. If you don't know, I do have my own channel. Everything I think is linked down below in the description if you are watching on YouTube. Personal channel is just my name, Alyssa Fulton. I want to obviously be posting more through the month. I feel like I did a decent job posting since the comeback I made. Obviously, I want to gain subscribers, gain a lot of views, all that stuff, which could take some time, but I do definitely want to be planning a lot more for that. Filming a lot more and just doing a lot more in general on that channel. And then I also want to be posting a lot on social media, whether it's my own just pictures either throughout the month. I don't know, just more on social media in general. I want to be posting more to get really interactive with you guys on the Girls Gotta Talk podcast. So if you're not following that, please go follow that. I do want to get I don't want to say personal with you guys, but I do want to get very interactive with you guys on there. I don't know how yet, but I do want to do that. I do have other ideas that I'm still in the process of planning out. Obviously, I will tell you guys the more I figure out, so I don't want to say anything yet, but I do have ideas for the podcast that I want to try to figure out for the future. So there's just a lot I feel hopefully going to be going on in 2024, and I'm so excited. Other things, so those are my goals for this year. They're not crazy goals, but they're just little goals that I've made for myself and for channels and whatnot. Other things going on in 2024, JJ's going to be turning 2 in a little over 2 months. To me, that's crazy, kind of mind-blowing, but I want to vacation more in 2024, even if it's just small little weekend or even day trips. I do just want to do a lot of traveling this year. I'm trying to think back. I know we went to Florida, we went to Baltimore. Did we go anywhere else? I can't even think. I don't we didn't go too crazy last year. I know we obviously did a lot of small traveling. Baltimore was a weekend little getaway. Florida was probably the longest trip, but I want to just do more of that. I don't know. It's really fun. Just like I said, little getaways, little trips, little, I don't know, breaks almost from life. I feel like it'll just be really fun. Me and my friend have we're talking about little girls trip situations, so I'm really excited to hopefully do that this year. I feel like it'll be really fun. I haven't gone to Boston in so long. I freaking love Boston. I want to do a weekend maybe trip to Boston just to, I don't know, sightsee, I guess. I do really want to go to Tennessee. I've always wanted to go to Tennessee. Obviously, I wouldn't mind going to Florida. I've been watching this show that I think it's basically based out of Massachusetts, like Cape Cod area, which I've never been to either. So I want to check that out. But it also kind of gave me like Outer Banks vibes, and I've never been there either. So I've been just looking into little places I've never been to that look really nice, really like vacation-y getaway vibes. So I don't know. There's just been a lot of planning in my head of where I want to go, what I want to see type of thing. So I'm really excited to try to book some little trips. Like I said, even if it's just little weekend, maybe like a long weekend type getaway. I do want to do at least like 1 or 2 like week trips somewhere, probably like Florida area type of thing. But I definitely want those to be in the works. I also really, really, really miss sports. We don't have cable, which honestly hasn't been that big of an issue, but I haven't watched baseball games in so long. I want to get back into honestly watching them. I would love to go to a few this year. I definitely want to bring my son to his first game. I feel like that'll be really fun. My family's just kind of been big baseball fans, honestly, throughout my whole life. My brothers grew up playing baseball. I went to a lot of their games. I was just always at some type of sporting event between my brothers that honestly, I feel like since they graduated high school, I haven't been to a lot. I haven't watched a lot. So I do kind of really miss it. So I do want to get back into that. Baseball is kind of the only sport I kind of really follow and kind of really understand. So I definitely do miss that a ton. But with that being said, that is all. Oh my God, I'm about to end this video, but I wanted to talk about the vision board I made. So I use this app called Canva. Basic is a free app. I do pay to have a premium membership. I don't really know what it is, but we do pay for that. So I like using that. It kind of gives you more options for things, but you can get it free. You can use it. I freaking love Canva. That's what I use for like thumbnails and all this stuff. But if you didn't see on the Instagram story, I forgot what the word was. The Instagram story I posted for the Girls Gotta Talk podcast Instagram, I did post this little 2024 vision board. I'm just going to go through it really quick. I have the number 28 because I am turning 28 this year. That's kind of crazy. Getting old over here, but it's fine. I had blue balloons because JJ's turning 2. I just kind of had it. I had a number 2, but it just didn't look good, so I just put blue balloons. I have headphones with a microphone that says podcast. Like I said, I have a lot of plans for this podcast this year, but I do also want it to see it grow really, really well. I had a phone with the YouTube logo on it. Like I said, too, I want to kind of get into my channel more, be posting more, doing a lot on there. I had coffee on there because coffee is just my literal lifesaver, saving grace. I freaking just run on coffee at this point. I had some plain window. Obviously, like I said, I want to be traveling and doing different little getaways. There is a little notebook. I think it's like a planner. I haven't used the planner in so long. I used to be like really, really, really into planners and planning and needed to write it down, needed to physically see. I do use the calendar function on the Notion app that I was talking about earlier this episode. So I do have a lot planned out on there. So I do still use it. I need to keep myself on track with using it. I feel like the planner, I use it a lot for the podcast, but I need to get into it more for my channel. I feel like I just kind of go day by day, like, oh, can I vlog today, or should I vlog today, or what am I doing today? Should I film it type of situation? I need to just go in and kind of coincide with my work schedule, see when I'm off, see what I can do. There's a lot of days where I'm with JJ if I'm off, or there's some days like today where I'm off, but he's at daycare, so I have like a bunch of freedom during the day. I could be doing video ideas or something along the lines of that. So I do want to get into planning days, seeing when I'm off, seeing what's going on that day. I do still want to get into reading. So I do have that. Just little things like that that are just making me super excited for this year. I'm really excited to see where we go this year, social media wise, obviously normal lifestyle wise. I don't know. I'm just really excited. I've honestly started this year on a really good note. Like I said, today's the 2nd, and between yesterday and today, they've just been such good days. This year started off so well. I've just been in such a good mood. Really excited to pick up this mic again and start recording these episodes. I'm really excited to pick up the camera again and start filming some type of videos, but I don't know. It's just started off really well. I'm really happy with the way 2024 has been these last couple days, and I'm really excited to see where this year leads. But now, with that being said, that is all I have for this episode. I am so sorry I still sound kind of sick, kind of probably gross, congested. But if you guys have listened, I appreciate you putting how I sound aside to listen to this episode. I love you guys so much. Make sure to come back next week for our first guest episode of this podcast, and hopefully the first guest episode of this year. I'm hoping there's a lot more where that came from. I'm really excited, but I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week back with a brand new episode. Bye.